Hello guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about Jake Oettinger and where I think how far it was in advance that I think Jake Oettinger will be able to play with Dallas Stars and to be able to play NHL ready. Now of course he's 19 years old in Boston University, 26 overall, 2017 Dallas Stars taking him, so he isn't that old, and even though he's shown signs of decline, he is still that young guy. Age 19, he has so much room to grow. In his draft year with Boston University, that 16-17 season, he had 35 games played, 211 goals against average with a .927 save percentage, and the saves total, .957. Then we switch over to 17-18. Now, of course, this past season with the Boston University still, 38 games played, 245 goals against average, and .915 save percentage, but more saves with 1,021. So he's getting more saves, he's getting more games played, and his numbers are declining, at least from this season compared to the last season, but he's gotten more experience, he's gotten more games played, so even though we could see the decline there, it is still a little bit concerning seeing that it was more than a 10-point difference in the save percentage. It is concerning, but I don't think it's going to hamper him too much. These things happen with goaltender prospects. They sometimes just have that kind of decline, but he did get a lot more shots on net this time, and he was saving a lot more of them. And he also had some experience in the World Junior Championships a few months ago. He played with USA, he didn't play great and play badly, but he's had some other playing time in other tournaments. He hasn't just been playing with Boston University. But pretty much everybody knows at this point that goalies take longer to develop than skaters. Most of the time, goaltenders don't usually have breakout seasons until their mid to late 20s. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. I mean, Carter Hutton just had his breakout season this season, and he's like, what, 32? So sometimes it just takes a long time for goalies to develop. And of course, with a guy like Oettinger, you might have to be really, really patient with him. Let's just look at a few goaltenders here. You have Sergei Bobrovsky in 2012, 2013 with a .932 save percentage. He was age 24. You got Pekka Rinne in 2010, 2011 with a .930 save percentage. That was him at age 28. Then you got Jonathan Quick, 2011, 2012, save percentage at .929, age 26. And last, Dubnyk, you have at age, or in 2014, 2015, .299 save percentage, and he's 28. So some of these goaltenders, of course, a lot of these great goaltenders are great right now, and some of these goaltenders are taking very long to develop, and guys, some of these guys, too included, are age 28 when they're having their breakout seasons, so sometimes the process just has to happen. Sometimes these goaltenders, even though it takes sometimes super long, sometimes in the long run it is worth it. Even though I don't like a guy like Jack Campbell very much, I got him at the Stars, rushed him pretty hard. He didn't play any really NHL games with them, barely any in fact, but they just gave up on him a little bit too much. I feel like even though he has severely progressed with LA, I think that giving him up really too early in his career, I think, hurt Dallas Stars. Didn't really hurt him, as Jack Campbell is doing very well in the LA organization, but I feel like Dallas, if they're going to they have to give some patience to Oettinger. It can't be another Jack Campbell. They got to give a lot more attention and a lot more nourishment, a lot more development, and most importantly, a lot more time available to a guy like Oettinger than they gave with Campbell. Now Oettinger has maybe a season left with the college with Boston University, so then he'd transition to AHL, or maybe ESHL. It'll have to be a weird thing, but he probably will go to the AHL. I mean, they got Mike McKenna up there, and he's probably not a long-term option, so Jake Oettinger probably will, if he gets to the AHL, get some decent playing time. Of course, he's going to stay there for, I'd say, a couple of years, and he's going to get great nourishment and great performance. If he performs there too, he could even get the call up to the NHL. I do think that he'll be AHL kind of guy, maybe a couple of NHL call-ups a couple of times, but for the next couple of years, I see Jake Oettinger as a guy that will pretty much, I wouldn't say dominate the AHL, but play pretty well in the AHL. Maybe not get the call-up necessarily, but he could be a backup in like 3-4 years, and then we don't know what's past then, but I do believe that Jake Oettinger will be very good in the AHL if he gets called up next season, or if he gets to call up a couple of seasons later. I still think that the AHL time will definitely help him there. But he will be able to get that star year in at least a year or two, and if he plays well, that's great for him, but he's going to have to prove himself. He is set to be the next in line after Bishop. That's the plan, hopefully. Let's see if that actually goes to plan. But he could be the backup for the Dallas Stars for a couple of years if that ends up happening. If he does develop pretty nicely in the AHL, performs well, and he gets a little bit more quicker development than even I expect, he probably could be the NHL backup for Bishop for the last couple of years of Bishop's career, and hopefully it's kind of a passing the torch, per se, for Oettinger through Bishop and Oettinger. Hopefully, if that goes all to plan, he'd be the next starter after Bishop. But I don't know if it'll go that silky smooth. I don't know if it'll go that quickly. But that's the best case scenario, is for him to come up and play as good as possible. But I do think that he'll be a couple years in that backup position. Again, Kari Lehtinen isn't getting any younger, so there's a spot to fill there. So we'll see if Jake Oettinger is able to fill that in the next couple of seasons. I feel like he'll be able to play well enough for that. But it's all going to come down to how he plays in the NHL, how he performs for the next couple of years going forward, because those couple of next years are going to be very crucial for his development. I say that Oettinger is ready for the starter job in at least 4 years. I mean, that at that point would put him at 23 years old, which is a good age for him to become the next guy up. And maybe if he's a little bit less than that, like a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, which is still pretty young. So he still has a lot of time on his hands and a lot of time to develop. And I want him to just slightly get going and so slightly progress. That's all I really want him to do, is to just not really back down, not really regress at all. Just have that slight progression throughout the next few years, and if that keeps going, he'll do pretty well throughout his career, and that's hoping, because his development is going to be very crucial for him, obviously. But the next few years are going to be extra important, because those are the crucial building years when it comes to a goalie. And I wanted to be a backup at least that 22 years old age. I think that that's a good spot for him to be in, but hopefully transitioning to that starter role to that 23, 24 years of age, then that's the prime years for a goaltender. I like him to get at least starter level by then, and to be at least league average, because the Dallas Stars really needed that from him. And if he can keep that going and be a little bit better than that, he can be a great starter for us. But he still has the time. He still has a lot of time on his hands to develop, right? It's just all about what he'll become and how he'll be able to develop. If he can keep continually growing, I think that he'll be pretty set on pace to be a starter in the league. I think that he'll play pretty well there. But Oettinger is hopefully the future for the Dallas Stars in the golden position. It's going to be really crucial for him to develop, because really, if he doesn't develop, there's really nothing past the Bishop years. Bishop isn't really getting any younger. He's like 30 years old right now. So Oettinger, realistically, I want him to be NHL ready in 4 years, to maybe pass that torch at age 23. That's pretty much the perfect year for him, I'd say, is that age 23 place where he can kind of be that placeable, that decent filler for that backup starter position, where it isn't too much of a sacrifice from one or the other, where Bishop is still kind of declining, but not too bad. So I think that Oettinger will be in that middle area, which is the best part for him. Once Bishop kind of goes his own ways, then Oettinger will be able to take that position and be able to put it in his own hands. Hopefully, Bishop will be able to mentor him as also, but Oettinger, I hope, will be able to be at least NHL ready by then. But man, I can never tell goalies. They're always the most unpredictable prospects ever. A lot of them don't seem to turn out. It always seems like the later guys usually turn out, but goalie prospects are always finicky. It's always going to be a tough time to develop them. It's really going to be interesting to see how he develops, what it'll end up becoming, because Jake Oettinger is showing some red flags this season with his performances in Boston University, but if he keeps progressing, he'll be fine. I think that he has the talent level and he has the overall size to be able to make up as an NHL goalie. I think he definitely has that potential. So really, the destiny is in his hands. If the Dallas Stars develop him right, that's going to be crucial for them after Bishop. He'll be the perfect goaltender and the perfect starter for them going forward, but they're going to really need him going into the years after the Bishop era. So that is going to be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell me down below what you think of Jake Oettinger. When do you think he'll be NHL ready? When do you think he'll be able to get along and get to that starter role after the Bishop times? I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.